Check, check, check. Check 1, 2. Second. Check, check, check. 1, 2. All right, everyone. I hope you have a pair of socks or a blanket that could potentially slide on a floor. If you're practicing on carpet, this becomes hard, but you could use like plastic plates. Those slide pretty well on carpet. Anything plastic usually does a good job. So those are my suggestions. Of course, if you don't have either of those, then you can use this when we get to that drill. Save it for another day when you do have that option somewhere. Okay, so continuing on in our handstand experience, we're going to be moving towards these blanket slide drills, which you may have seen on my Instagram I posted last night. So it's a little preview of what we'll be doing today. You can go check that out too if you didn't see that afterwards. Just take a quick look, kind of give you the same skill sets that I'm going to share with you today. I do, let's see, I would like to get in a bit of heart opening as well, some back bending. As we started with the Cobras last time, we're going to continue with the Cobras this time. And after we've done our blanket slides, we'll move into back bending. So I want to get started right away so we have enough time for all of this. Just come to all fours, hands and knees. Grip your fingers into the ground and then release a few times. So grip, release, grip, release. And usually when I'm gripping, I'm kind of thinking pull the fingers towards my hand. And when I do that, usually the metacarpals, again, metacarpals is this part, that tends to lift up when I pull towards my hand. So I also press down into that area while I pull the fingers towards the hand. And when you pull your fingers towards the hand and press the metacarpals down, now you're going to really get the flexors, all the flexors active. And then what I do when I'm doing these kind of turn on, turn off things where I'm activating the forearm muscles, gripping, and then releasing, you start to feel the forearm muscles warm up, which is great. But as I'm doing this, I want to pay attention. I'm actually using my eyes for this. I'm looking at each individual finger and seeing which ones are perhaps not participating as much. I notice my left pinky tends to fall asleep. So I am trying to, really activate that one, pulling it towards the thumb, more or less, across the hand. Okay, and just check in. Maybe it's the index fingers for you. Maybe it's a different finger. Okay, now that the wrists are warmed up, hopefully you feel that intensity through the forearms. Take your hands a little further forward. Grip the ground. So your shoulders are behind the wrist now so that we don't strain anything. And you'll do some hand push-ups. So press down through the metacarpals and lift the heel of the hand up. Slowly lower the heel of the hand gently towards the ground again. This is in both, and then push down. It's in both handstand trainings 1 and 2 because I find this really powerful and important. So heel of the hand back down and then push down into the metacarpals, lift the heel of the hand up. And then slowly lowering it back down, push down into metacarpals, lift the heel of the hand up. And it should be done slowly because that's how you know you're not using other, other muscles like the shoulders or whatever. You can do this movement without actually targeting the forearm muscles, and you can, you do it by internally rotating, you do by moving your shoulders, and your hands will flip as a result. We just don't want to, we want to be mindful about what we're intending here, and that is to activate and warm up the forearm muscles. All right. Cool. After you've done a little bit of warm up here in the forearms, start to make your way back in a downward facing dog. Let's take a full breath in and a full breath out. While I'm at it, it can move, by the way. Bend your knees, move the hips side to side. I just wanted to mention that if any of you have the second wind yoga mats, like the ones like the soul mat that I'm on or the sticky mat, it's really beneficial to just wipe it down with a little bit of water every now and then. Of course, if you sweat a lot in your practice, you probably already do that. Maybe you add a little bit of vinegar for disinfectant. I don't sweat much in my practice, so I don't tend to wipe the mat down. But what happens is a little bit of dust collects over time and makes it slippery. So what you can do is just a little bit of water, damp rag, and then wipe it down, and the stick comes right back. Makes it easier to practice, of course. Come forward to plank pose on the next breath in. Grip the fingers into the ground. Pause here. Protract the shoulder blades. That means move them apart from each other. And pull the center of the belly in and up so you feel like you're almost getting lifted by the waistline up to the sky. Take a full breath in. And then place the knees down. Come to child's pose and release. Inhale forward, all fours. Tuck the toes, arch the back. And let's lean forward, bend the elbows, chaturanga. First, warming up the back muscles, lift the heart up, inhale. Exhale, release. Two more, maybe lifting the hands up this time, inhale. Exhale, release. Last one, inhale, shoulders up, hands up, heart up. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees, inhale. Tuck toes, lead with the tailbone up, downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky on the in-breath. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Full breath into the right rib cage. And a full breath out. Straighten the leg on the inhale, square the hip. Step right foot forward as you exhale. Come up onto your fingertips and take a breath. Gather strength in the legs by pulling your feet toward each other. Hips will lift up. Press through your right heel so your right buttocks firms up and take a breath. Okay, together let's do a little movement in the spine. Inhale. And on the exhale, turn the belly, chest, shoulders, maybe the gaze as well. Inhale, hands to the ground. Exhale, turn the belly, chest, shoulder, hand. Inhale. And one more time. Exhale, turn the belly, chest, shoulder, hand. And bring the hands to the ground. Okay. Take a moment, take your right hand to the inside of your right foot, pivot the back heel down. Do the same thing using the exhales for twisting. Take a full breath in. Exhale, turn the belly, chest, shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Last one, exhale, turn the belly, chest, shoulder. Inhale, release the hands to the ground. Step back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, forward plank pose. Chaturanga, exhale. Again, lift the heart up, shoulders, hands. Maybe lift the feet this time. Exhale, soften. 2 more. Inhale, lift the heart up, shoulders, hands, feet. Reach back through the toes. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All fours, hands and knees. Exhale. Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Left leg to the sky. Inhale. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Full breath in. Full breath out. Straight leg, square the hip. Step forward. High up on the fingertips, take a breath. Soften the exterior of the eyes, the jaw, skin. And gather strength in the legs. Pull your feet toward each other. Lift the hips. Press through the left heel. Take a breath in. On the exhalation, turn the belly, heart, shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Hand to the ground, left hand on the inside, right foot down. Take a breath in together. Press through the left heel as you exhale. Turn the belly, chest, shoulder. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Again. Exhale. Hand to the ground. Okay, take a moment, place your right palm down, and all you're gonna do is just give your left hand a moment to break, okay? And pivot the back heel up. Now place the left fingertips and right fingertips to the ground. Puff up your upper back, take a full breath in. On the exhale, hop to switch feet. Hold here, take a full breath in. And place your hands on the front knee. Lift through the inner back leg, so firm up your back leg and press down through your right heel so you feel your buttocks fire up, and then rise. Like last time, pull your legs toward each other and inward so you really compact the legs. Lift the belly up. Take the arms in a cactus-like shape. Okay, draw your shoulder blades together. This will give you a little more range of motion. On the inhale, reach the hands straight up to the sky. Kiss your ears with your shoulders. Exhale, bend the elbows. Let the shoulders come back down. Inhale, rise up. Shoulders come all the way up at the top. Kiss the ears, touch. Exhale. Again, inhale. Touch at the top. Exhale. Now sweep the hands forward and up. Inhale, high lunge. Open up, warrior two. Let's warm up the front leg. Inhale, straighten through the front leg. Exhale, rebend. Again, inhale, straighten. Exhale, rebend. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground. Pivot the back heel up, come on your fingertips. We take a breath in, get full in the back body. On the exhalation, hop to switch sides. All right, take a breath in. Exhale, root through your left heel, hands to the front knee. Fire up the legs, pull inward, so lift upward. Press down through your left heel. Come on up to cactus shape with the arms. Draw your shoulder blades toward each other, so pull them together. On the inhale, reach the arms up, shoulders kiss the ears. Front ribs down. Exhale, pull down, shoulders come down. Again, inhale, reach the arms up. Keep the ribs down, but shoulders touch the ears. A little bit harder. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Sweep the arms forward and up. Inhale. Open Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Let's warm up the front leg. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. When you bend, you're not giving in. You're still pressing down through the heels so your buttocks fires up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Reverse warrior. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground. Pivot the back heel up. Come onto your fingertips. Take a breath in. Get light in the upper body. Lean forward as you exhale, hop to switch. Very well. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, open Virabhadrasana 2. Reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground. This time, place the back knee onto the earth. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Rise up. And this time, clasp your thumbs. Okay, so clasp your thumbs and then pull them apart and pull open your shoulders so your elbows widen. Shoulder blades come toward each other. Press your midsection forward towards the front knee. And then as you pull your thumbs isometrically, that means no movement, you just try to pull your thumbs apart. You'll feel your shoulder blades come toward each other. And then you can reach your palms back, creating a little bit of a back bend here. I suggest the top of the back foot, pushes down into the ground in order to lengthen and activate the quads. Take a full breath in. Exhale, release. Straighten both legs on the inhale, look forward. Exhale and bow. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, straighten, bow. Inhale, bend the front knee. Last time, exhale, straighten and bow. Cool. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, hopper switch, step switch. Rise, high lunge, inhale. Open Vira 2. Reverse warrior, inhale. Cartwheel the hands to the ground. Back knee comes down. Point the back foot, press into it. Inhale, rise up. Other thumb behind, so whatever is normal, you just switch it. Bend the elbows, try to pull your hands apart. This will help you open the shoulders. It'll draw the shoulder blades toward each other. Lean the chest forward, press it forward like you would in our cobra poses that we did last time. Press your heart forward and then pull the thumbs apart to open up the shoulders. Okay, inhale, lift the heart up, lift the belly up. Soften forward. Pull your back knee towards your front knee, lift the belly up, lift the heart up. Look up. Exhale, release. Cool. Straighten through both legs. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bow. Bend the front knee, inhale. Exhale, straighten and bow. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten and bow. Inhale, bend. Step right to chaturanga. So as you step back, you lower. Slide the hands wide this time, feet a little wide as well. Inhale, lift the chest off the ground. As you exhale, soften your chest forward. Press the heart to the front of the mat. Then inhale. If it allows, the heart lifts up. Exhale, release. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, form the back bend by letting the heart soften between the shoulder blades back. Now pull the heart through on the inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. One more, inhale. Exhale. Pull the heart forward and up. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees, inhale. Tuck toes, exhale, down dog, and take a few breaths. All right, now that we've done some warming up, some movement, some breathing, we'll start preparing ourselves for the goal of the day, the physical posture of the day, which is a movement, and that is something called blanket slides. It is our handstand prep position done with dynamic movement. So that is, we'll kind of move in and out of the handstand prep position with socks on, with blankets, whatever you got to slide on the floor, okay? We're not there yet, but I'm just preparing you mentally. Inhale, lift the heels up, look forward. Empty the breath out, hop or step. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, bow. Okay, so now inhale, halfway lift. I'd like to really prepare you for the hips to understand what's required here. Okay, so take your hands to your shins. I recommend starting with bent knees, make it easy for you. With your hands on your shins, kind of squeeze inward with your arms, like you're trying to brace your shins in toward each other. Probably a good idea to lift the toes up to start. Okay, it'll just help with some of the alignment without having to really know much about the ankles. Okay, then once you've got those two things, hands squeezing in, toes lifted, press your heels, really the hamstrings and calf muscles, calves, hamstrings, and buttocks, press out behind you. And you have your toes lifted so that your ankles don't roll out. If you see them rolling out, make sure that you keep them inward, okay? Push the back of your hamstrings outward. And then what you can do last is once your hamstrings are, like pressing out and you feel your outer hips awakening and your buttocks kind of widening, then you press your big toe down, help you lean forward a little bit more. Pinky toe down if possible, lean forward a little bit more. Now take the fingertips to the ground, okay? So the backs of the legs are really widening away from one another. And then if you like, you can tuck your chin around the back a little bit at the end there. Those muscles, when you press the outer hips apart like that, or when you press the back of the pelvis apart like that, you start activating a muscle called TFL. It's called tensor fasciae lata. It's a hip flexor. It's a massive hip flexor, and it really helps to do these slide forwards, anything to do with the handstand prep position. TFL is really important because it's also an internal rotator, so it doesn't let the the leg kind of while out to externally rotate, and then you lose control of it, which will then open the hips. Instead, it keeps it internally rotating, keeping the hips squared, so it makes it a really nice muscle to work out for handstand practice. Okay, hands to the hips, arch the upper back, come halfway and pause. Hold here, micro tuck the tailbone, so a little bit of movement, tailbone goes down and your hamstring should fire up. Lean forward into your toes and grip all of your toes now into the ground. Okay, if possible, you keep your low back in an arch position. I like to take my hand there and just kind of feel that. Keep a back bend. Now pull your front ribs in a little bit. So instead of sagging your chest down, pull your rib cage in without losing the curve of the lumbar for right now. Now take the arms out to the sides. Your tailbone is slightly tucking, so you should feel your hamstrings fired up. If you're leaning too far back, it makes it very easy on your hamstrings. You want to lean forward into your toes. That's going to force your hamstrings to hold on here and strengthen them. And we're using that strength to warm them up. So you lean forward to your toes while micro-tucking your tailbone. Micro-tucking meaning you're trying to tuck your tail, but you're not kind of moving like this, right? You have the arch in your low back still while you tuck your sit bones down to activate the hamstrings. Okay, hands to the hips and rise all the way up. Yes, your low back should be fired up as well from that action. Okay, coming to the front of the yoga mat. We start in chair pose today. At the top of the mat, bend the knees. And with your knees bent, lift your toes up. Press the back of your heels out, hamstrings out, buttocks out, so you feel the widening across the back of the pelvis. Sit a little bit lower. Lift the heart up. And then reach the arms up, Utkatasana, for 5 breaths. Hold here as you exhale. Together, inhale. Exhale. 1, pay attention to the breath. Inhale. Exhale. 2, inhale. Exhale. 3, inhale. Exhale. 4, one more time. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana. Halfway lift on the in-breath. Step or hop back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Cobra or upward dog. Inhale, 1 breath only for this round. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Step forward as you exhale. High lunge, inhale, rise. Vira 2, warrior 2. Reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth. You got a 3-legged dog, right leg up and back, inhale. Step forward as you exhale. Place the hands on the front knee, inhale. Lean forward, left leg rises up. So just to review last time, use the point of your foot to expand out of it, right? So you learn how, let's do it a few times actually, just go back and forth a few times. You learn how to articulate through the ankles so that you remember that for when we get back to jumps. You want to make sure that you're fully awake in that nice rolling motion through the ankle so that there's no like rigid points like this. You know, like, but rather a very graceful, smooth movement, okay? And now come into warrior 3. Scoop your right sit bone down. Maybe take the arms out to the side or forward. Take a full breath in. Exhale out. I keep the right knee bent for this. 1 more, inhale. Exhale. High lunge, inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to the earth. Pay attention, inhale, straighten through the front leg. And now exhale, bow. We're gonna hold this for 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All right, come onto your fingertips, moment of truth here, or you can use your 2 blocks if you like, but flex your front foot if possible. Pull your front ribs back. We're gonna activate the hip flexors like we did, I think it was last practice, I believe. You're gonna lift the right leg up. Hold, take a breath in. Release. Again, if this is inaccessible, use blocks. Round the back, inhale. Lift the leg up. Exhale, release. 1 more time. Inhale, round the upper back. Push through your hands. Lift. And exhale, release. Bend the knees, step back, down dog. Inhale, forward plank pose. Chaturanga. This time, slide the hands wide, fingertips. Inhale, lift. Soften as you exhale. Pull the chest through. Lift it up. Exhale, release. All 4s, hands and knees. Tuck toes, exhale, down dog. Left leg to the sky, inhale, here we go. Step forward. Rise, high lunge, inhale. Open Virabhadrasana 2. Reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth. 3-legged dog, inhale. Step forward, exhale. Hands to the front knee. About 5 times, I think we roll back through the heel. and then roll all the way through the big toe. Again, roll back through the heel, slow articulation of the ankle joint. Very smooth. Try not to get any sort of clickies or quick motions, then slow. Just make it all one slow tempo so that you learn how to activate the calf muscles back there and control them through range of motion. This will help your jumping, make you feel lighter, especially up to handstand. Very underrated part of handstand. Many people don't practice this. Okay, come forward, right into warrior three preparation. Again, we're gonna keep the left knee bent for this. Scoop your left sit bone to activate the hamstrings here, waking them up. And then option, we take the arms out to the side or forward and breathe. Micro tucking the left buttocks so you really feel the glutes and hamstrings. One more. And slow release. Fingertips to the ground. Inhale, straighten through the front leg. And we get to bow and hold. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Here we go. Flex the front foot, look up. Hold here as you exhale, sorry, I'm off the breath. 3 times, lifting the left leg up the best you can. Inhale, push, lift. Exhale, soften. Again, inhale, push, lift. Exhale, release. Last one, inhale, push, lift. Exhale, release. Step back, downward facing dog. On the next breath in, forward plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Slide the hands wide, inhale, lift. Soften as you exhale. Pull the heart forward and up, inhale. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees. And pause here. All right, let's get the hip flexors a little more awake. We'll do right hand, left knee. So with your right hand, you push your left knee back. With your left knee, you push into your left hand. And that should get your kind of your hip crease active, your hip flexors. Okay, hold here. Let's take a full breath in. They should be opposing another, so don't make it easy on yourself. Let's do 2 more breaths. Keep pushing your knee towards your shoulder. 1 more breath. And release. Okay, if that was easy, it just means you didn't do enough effort. So apply the effort, apply the rigor of the practice, the tapas, the abhyasa, the repetition. Press your right knee into your left hand. Fire up your hip flexors. And let's breathe together. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale and release. Inhale, halfway lift, arch the back. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Let's enjoy our breath in. And a breath out. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Lift the heels up on the in-breath. Look forward. Exhale to hop push step. Half lift on the in-breath. Exhale and bow. Bend the knees. Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, stand up, hands to heart. Okay, so same kind of exercise that we just did on the ground. We get the hip flexors awake, bend the knees, Take your right hand to the left and press your knee up and towards your right shoulder, getting the hip flexors active. Take a full breath in, full breath out. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Stand up. 1 breath. Exhale. Second set. Here we go. Hip flexors, aren't they the best? Bend the knees, chair pose, bring your right knee up. Let's do it together. Inhale. So they're really super underrated. Exhale. Because no one really thinks about it, but keeping your legs compact to your chest is what makes handstands or getting into handstands easy. A lot of things are necessary, of course, but getting the body compact is one of the little secrets that nobody really talks about. Okay, and then release. So here's what we'll do to try just kind of keep that body. I'm going to show you real quickly, okay, because it's hard to explain. But, you know, for example, if you held a block out here, this is a lot heavier than if you hold the block in here, right? And that's because the closer to the center of the body, the less the muscular system has to work to hold it. The skeletal system will hold it. Now, when you do handstands, if you're kicking up with your legs not so close to your chest like this, it's that equivalent of holding the block way back here. But, you know, for example, if you can make your chest super compact and your legs really tight into your chest like this, right, where you really got your hip flexors turned on, you see that? They're really tight up against the chest. And that's what makes it really more easy. I'm sorry, I don't like to demonstrate like that to like make it look like I'm showing off. I just want to show you the importance of keeping your thigh bones close to your chest, okay? Okay, so let's do this. Take your, this is a bit hard. Take your right knee up towards your chest and interlace the hands underneath the foot like this. And just with your arms, pull your thighs close to the chest, okay? That's the somewhat easy part. Then do your best to kind of extend the leg forward, keeping your thigh and chest at the same, you know, connected. Now here's the really hard part. Can you release your hands for a moment? You know, and then kind of bring them back, bring it tight in again. Can you release your hands again? Bring them back. One more time. Bring it back. And come up. Told you it would be a little bit hard. Okay. Shall we try the other side? Whoop, whoop. Let's do it. Okay, so we bring the left leg up. Bring it tight into the chest by using our hands to start. When you're ready, stretch the leg out, but keep the leg as tight into the chest as possible. Okay, now the goal, I suggest flexing the foot. It's a little bit easier. Then release the hands. And bring them back. Tighten it up. Stay. Release the hands. Bring it back. You get one more. Brilliant. All right. Oh, how lovely is that? It's the worst. Okay, I think we're ready to roll. So grab your socks or your blanket. Let's have some fun after that intense beginning. You know, as I mentioned several times about the yoga practice, maybe not this class, but in previous classes in this immersion. So if you're watching this one-off, I apologize. We discussed this idea of tapas, the rigor of the yoga practice that Patanjali says is one of the 3 most important things that you need if you want to practice yoga. It's the ability to do the rigor. It's the ability to do the intensity, to endure that friction, that heat, the challenges that come along with the pursuit of this goal in yoga of oneness, this goal of yoga of experiencing that samadhi-like state, that state of equanimity where the mind is at ease. So if we want to calm our mind, he says, if we want to still the vrittis, yoga chitta vritti nirodha, if we want to still the chaos of the mind and experience those deeper layers of consciousness within us, then we must endure the rigor of the practices that get us there. Okay, so roll your mat up, move it off to the side, whatever you got to do. I'm just going to move it to the side for myself. Now, here's the deal. If you want to really get good at this, I suggest starting with blocks behind your forearms. Now, that would, watch first, because this might be way too hard for you with the blocks behind the forearms. So right now you can see the block is a little bit behind my wrist. You see how there's space. I don't know, you can see I can wiggle my fingers back here. Just make sure you can see that. Yeah, okay, you got enough space there. So if I try to pull my legs forward when I'm leaning back like this, it's going to be impossible because all the weight is actually in my feet. So how do you pull your legs forward if the weight is in the feet? It's very heavy. You have to be Superman or Superwoman, okay? So instead, you have to shift your weight away from the blocks into your hands. Then your feet get light, and you'll be able to slide your feet forward. Okay, so I recommend videoing yourself with blocks and doing some small movements just so you can kind of get a feel for it. And again, this is in my handstand part 2 training as well. We go over essentially what we're doing right now is handstand prep position, but with a little bit more movements and dynamics to it. So I suggest you start back towards wherever the back of your mat would have been, and you place your hands further forward. You lean past where the block would be, grip your fingers into the ground. Once the weight is out of your feet, then you can slide your feet forward. By the way, right now I'm going against the grain of the wood. The wood's going this way, and I'm going against it. That's way harder. If you're at home here and just whatever direction the planks of your wood is, go that direction. That way you don't have to like hit all the grooves of your, of your floor. Of course, this works on linoleum floors and not linoleum. That doesn't happen anymore. What was I going to say? It works on tile floors. It works on vinyl floors. Is what I was looking for. Okay, so we lean forward, shoulders to the ears, grip the ground. Once you feel the weight comes out of your feet, you'll know it because your heels will naturally lift up because you've leaned forward. Then you can drag your legs forward. Okay. Now, this is really nice and fun when you've got blankets underneath. It slides a little bit easier. And I only have this amount of space because, I got to keep on film, but you don't have to, you don't have a camera to worry about. So my suggestion is you could just go around your whole house. Back in the day when I used to teach handstand private lessons, I'd make my students travel all around the yoga studio hallways. Embarrass them a little bit, but that would really help motivate them to do a good job, to stay focused. Okay. And of course you can, replay this and watch me do it again and see if you can kind of get some skills out of it. But essentially the things that are needed, grip your fingers into the ground. It's, that keeps coming back. It'll never go away. You never become like a masterful handstander and, your coach doesn't talk about your wrist. Okay. Throughout, if you want to continue handstands, you're going to be talking about developing the wrist strength. Okay. Cause that's your foundation. It's like you never become a master contractor without thinking about the foundation before you build, right? Always going to be thinking about the foundation. The same thing with handstand. Okay. So fingers grip the ground. And shoulders to the ears is probably the one that you're not doing. Most people, when they do this and they start learning, is that they look too far forward with their head and they drop their chest like this and they do something like this. And actually that puts a lot of pressure in the wrist joint because instead of like here, the difference between leaning forward from here versus leaning forward from the back of the torso is that when the back is lined up, you don't have to lean as far forward because more of your rib cage is lined up over the center line. It means more weight's already forward without having to lean forward. But when your rib cage drops down like this, okay, then your ribs are back here, all the weight is back here, which means you would have to lean a lot further forward than if you make your rib cage vertical first. So shoulders to the ears, rib cage vertical the best you can, and then slide forward a number of times. Yeah, so for instance, the way I can depict it is if you were to do a posture called planche. Planche is like a push-up position with your legs back behind you. I'm definitely not going to do it right now. It's been a while. But essentially, you're in a position like that with both legs off the ground, and you're very far forward. And you have to do that because your body weight is back. So essentially, when you have your head forward and your chest dropped like this, then you have to lean way further forward in order for the legs to get light. And I can feel that in the wrists. So instead, you really want to roll the rib cage, okay, so that the rib cage is at least over here. Then just a slight lean will really pull you forward, okay, to make it easier. Yes, it's still strenuous on the wrist. You still have to develop those muscles. There's no way around it, but we want to make it, most optimal for you. All right. So I would love for you to share those fun blanket slides or sock slides if you've got socks instead of the blankets in the Facebook group. I want to take a look at, see what you're doing with your body and see if I can offer any tips. And if not, then yeah, great that you shared it anyway. Also, any of you like to, if you have Instagram and you want to tag me, share it on Instagram, of course, I would love that. I would happily repost your videos. If you tag me in your story, that's the easiest way. But of course, if you tag me in your post as well, I can repost that, be helpful so I can share what we're doing here together. Okay, remove socks if you've got the socks. And as promised, I want to get into a little bit of back bending, which we kind of already started our warm up and prep for. Let's see, am I in the right place? Yeah. Okay, so sticking with our hip flexor theme, let's come into bridge pose. First, we'll do a regular bridge, no hip flexor discussion just yet, and no interlacing the hands just yet. Just press take your hands right now while we're here. I might as well give you a little neck education, and place them underneath your lower vertebra where your neck kind of meets your upper back, and you'll feel those vertebrae tend to stick out a little bit more, okay? Meaning towards the ground. So if you press the skull, the back of your head, gently into the ground, you'll start to feel those vertebrae lift up a bit away from the ground. Okay, so you create a little bit of mobility on the stiff vertebra of the neck, the lower ones. And the tendency is for the upper ones to be kind of already, mobile. So if you just keep your ears level here, chin level or perpendicular to the ground, more or less, I suppose, but press the head straight down to the ground so you feel the low neck activate. Okay, now bend the elbows a little bit wider than your rib cage and find your robot arms. Work your shoulder heads down into the ground. Move your knees away from you and press your low back and hips to the sky. Okay, you should now try to unlock the abdomen. We did strengthen these muscles, the hip flexors, the psoas in the front earlier. So now let's try to release them a little bit, relax them, let them go if possible, so that your ribs actually poke out and move towards your face, and your hips try to move towards your knees. Ribs to face, hips to knees, or knees away from you. And then slowly release. All right. Now, same thing, but we're going to interlace the hands under the back. So start the same way. Press the head, skull back into the ground. Press the heels down. Hips rise. Low back lifts. And now, if possible, you take your hands and interlace them underneath your back, pressing the shoulders down into the earth. You might have to wiggle them underneath a little bit. And opening the heart. Trying to unlock So literally trying to relax the abdomen here while strengthening the buttocks and the back muscles. It's a question I get all the time. Do you activate your buttock muscles in back bends? And the answer is it depends on the back bend. This back bend and wheel, definitely, because those are the muscles that lift your hips off the ground. If they weren't active, your butt would be down here, okay? And release. That's just the way the body works. I didn't make it up. So your buttock muscles are what do hip extension. So without them, your hips would be flexed like they are right now. All right, so let's do it again. Maybe switch the interlacing this round. Bridge pose. Press into the shoulders, press into the elbows, form the arch. Try to move your ribs towards your face and rise up. Knees go away from you. Okay, if possible, interlace the other pinky on the outside. Still pressing gently down through the skull. And release. Brilliant. Take a moment here. All right, so we'll do 2 of these and or 1 on each side, so make it not too difficult. Here's the deal. Take your right knee to your chest and then straighten the leg up to the sky. You'll find that this action is fairly easy compared to the next one. But I'd like you to just notice that when you do that, the tightness of your hamstrings pull your leg this way, right? So you might only get to here. So what you try to do is bring your knee towards your chest, have your hand for reference. Now don't move your hand. Press your thigh into your hand as you straighten your leg. So keep pressing your thigh into your hand as you straighten your leg, okay? Now, if that was easy and you think you can go a little bit deeper, then bring your knee closer to your chest and rearrange your hand, and then stretch the leg close to your face as much as possible. Okay, I'd like you to feel that action of pressing your leg into your hand. That's an important key point there, pressing it towards your face. Now switch sides. Press your knee into your hand and extend the leg while pressing the thigh into your hand. Okay. If that's easy, again, you bend the knee and you bring your knee closer to your chest. You move your hand a little bit and really pull your knee into your chest as you extend the leg. Okay, now that's pretty easy, relatively speaking, to the next thing. But it gives you the feeling of trying to, what happens when people come up to bridge with one leg is they go like this, and they extend the leg and it goes out this way because the hip flexors aren't engaged. Okay, and the tightness of the hamstrings might, make it hard. So if you'd like to watch the first round, you can, and press pause and you go with me. Otherwise, they come up to bridge pose with robot arms, and I suggest staying this way. Root down into we'll start with left heel roots down, and you bring your right knee towards your chest. Imagine some of you could actually touch your thigh, then flex the foot and kick to the sky, and keep the thigh as close to your chest as possible as you do so. Press through your left heel using your glutes, pressing down, and keeping your right leg as close to your chest as possible, hips to the sky. One more breath. And bend the knee to release. Take a moment. Press the head into the ground so that you don't overdo the neck at all. All right, only one more side. Here we go. Press both feet down. Press the shoulders down. Press the hips to the sky, preparing yourself. All right, so now the other leg, press down through your right heel, keeping that. Bring your left knee towards your chest as close as you can. You either stay here if that's where you want to stay, or if you can, keep the leg close to the chest as you straighten the leg, keeping the leg as close to the chest as possible as you do so. Pressing down through the right heel using your right glute muscles. And bend the knee. And release. All right. That might be a good one for you to film, to observe where your leg is for yourself, to see if you can maybe activate more or whatever. All right, come to roll onto your belly. Actually, come to all fours, hands and knees. With your left leg, reach back with the right hand, grab the left foot. Press your left knee to the sky as you kick your foot back, open the chest. Twisted monkey B. Soften a little bit. Then kick your knee up and back with your inhalation. Soften. Last one. Inhale, kick the foot back and up. And release. Twisted monkey B on the other side. Kick the right leg back, grab the foot. And we do it in stages. Kick the foot back and up. Roll your left shoulder blade back towards the spine. Soften. Again, kick back and up, lift the heart. Soften. Up and back. Soften. Maybe one more. And release. All right, step your right foot outside your right hand. Left hand out to the left. Take a thigh stretch. Twisted monkey A. Gently pull your back knee towards your front knee so your hips lift a little bit. And gently press your foot back into your hands so your quads activate. Slowly release. Step the right knee back, left leg comes outside. And of course, if you can't grab the foot, no big deal. You just use a strap. Bend the right knee, reach back for the foot. And again, pull your two knees toward each other so your hips lift a little. And then once your hips are lifted a bit, kick your foot gently back into your hand. Now you can still bring the leg in closer, but still resist by kicking your foot back into your hand. You can notice my chest is quite open here. It's not facing you like this. I'm leaning back, facing the front of the yoga mat. Twisted monkey A. And those of you that have practiced my other immersions, a very familiar pose, but I know a lot of you that are new, we haven't done this much, this immersion. Okay, and release. Step to all fours, hands and knees. And lower down onto the ground. Start with one cobra. Inhale, lift the chest. Move the chest forward, soften it. Pull the heart forward and up. Inhale, cobra. And release. Okay, this time, bow pose, Dhanurasana, bend the knees, reach back for your feet. And we do this in stages, just like Twisted Monkey B, when we kick back and up, and then we soften, kick back and up and soften. Same idea here, so we don't burn ourselves out. I'm actually going to reverse my languaging, because I'm finding that it's easier to go deeper if you kick up, then back. So first, get long in the belly, wiggle the right and the left side as long away from the pelvis as possible. On the inhale, kick the knees up, then the feet back, chest lifts up. Soften. Okay, inhale, knees up, feet back, lift the chest up. Soften. Inhale, knees up, feet back. Soften. One more. Knees up, feet back. And release. You always want to be mindful of the sensations of your body as you're doing it, not forcing something just because you think that the shape is, good for you or bad for you, whatever it is. Just listening to the experience as you're having it rather than waiting till later to feel it. But this way you can actually breathe and you can make adjustments that serve you. And take some time, of course, to learn what adjustments are appropriate and, learn all the different actions and all the different skills that you can do. But it starts with listening. All right, let's do another round. Something you do first is like, I'm kind of in a Sphinx pose. Pull the belly long to the front of the mat until you feel your abdominals stretch. Okay, once you feel that, your spine is lengthened, and then bend your knees. If bending your knees, by the way, hurts, then that's kind of an indication that your quads, like if it hurts your low back, that your quad hip flexor connection might be a little bit too tight, and that's causing your psoas to grip, and that might be bending the spine too much. So more thigh stretches and psoas stretches. Okay, here we go. Reach for the feet. Shoulder blades toward each other in the backside, like we did earlier in this practice. So retract, move them together. And then together, on the inhale, knees go up, feet go back, heart lifts. Soften. Don't go to your full extent. Inhale, knees go up, feet go back, heart lifts. Soften. Again, inhale. Soften. Last time. And release. How lovely. Now, of course, I know that for some of you, it doesn't feel lovely doing back bends because of the certain tightnesses and strengths that are current in your body at this time. And it really takes a lot of development of skill sets and muscle activations and flexibilities. Techniques over time will develop that. This immersion is focused on handstand, so I don't necessarily want to give you too much of everything. So I do want you to learn something, because if we give you too much of everything, then you get nothing. That's just the way learning process works. So I am focusing on handstand, but I do want to give you some, skills along the way for back bends as well. And the one that I'm providing you today is not to just push full force the whole time, but rather to go with your breath, to move and pulse in and out of the shape. It's one of the major techniques because it promotes softening of the nervous system, which is huge when it comes to back bends. You cannot be in fight or flight state in a back bend and expect that your front body is going to open up. It just does not work. You need to get into a more relaxed state, a more enjoyable state. Last round. Bend the knees, reach back for the feet. Again, get long. Wiggle, I'm already lengthened, but some of you may not be. Start to activate the legs by lifting the knees up, kicking the legs back. Inhale, lift the heart up. Soft. Don't go to your full extent by any means. Not right away, for sure. Inhale. Lift. Soften. Inhale, kick back and up. Soften. Inhale, last time. And release.
All right, place your right shin across the yoga mat. Yes, okay. Just making sure my watch was correct. Right shin across the yoga mat, bow to the left. Keep your chest fairly lifted so we don't want to put our back in a compromised position after such deep back bends. So you see how I'm lifted up in this position here instead of bowing forward? A little bit better in the spine after such deep back bends. You don't want to round it. So for some of you, that actually might be more like being up here. Okay. Lean a little bit to your left hip. Come on out. Switch the sides. Back toes tucked. And lean your torso over to the right without bowing forward so much, just enough to get the hip stretch. It's not about really the spine at this time. We want to keep it in an arch position. It's not good to go from deep back bends to forward folds right away. The discs, the intervertebral discs, need to settle back into their spaces first before you forward fold. Otherwise, it's a real easy way to injure an intervertebral disc, to puncture it and cause a herniation and all sorts of discomfort that comes along with that. All right. Come on out. We'll come right onto our backs. My suggestion is not a full happy baby, but more of just grabbing the knees, keeping the pelvis level, and taking a few breaths to settle down. And release into Shavasana. If you'd like, you could also take constructive rest, knees knocked in. Any last breaths or movements that you need.
your breath back to your awareness. Deepen your breath. Awaken the fingers and toes. Stretch the arms. Roll to your side. Come up to a seated position. Take a moment to observe the experience. And then place the hands at the heart center. And a gentle bow in honor of the pulsing heart inside this physical body that we get to be in. Thankful for this practice that we get to share with one another and explore our body and feel better on a daily basis, but also, beyond that, beyond just feeling better, we get to enjoy the experience of being in this human form. We get to play and connect to our physical body. This is a gift. This is a privilege. Thankfully, we have this practice that shows us this. Thank you all so very much for tuning in. It's a pleasure to be sharing with you. Namaste. All right, so real quickly, just want to say if you want to post your blanket slides or your sock slides, I would love to see them either in the Facebook group or on Instagram, whatever suits you best. I'd love to see in the Facebook group, of course, or both would be also nice. And if you have any questions regarding anything else we did today, please throw it up in the Facebook group so I can support you. Videos are always easiest for me, by the way, to see. Sometimes when you explain it, it's hard for me to understand it. I know some of you feel uncomfortable making videos, and I get that, so it's okay if you write it down. But if you can muster up the courage to video yourself and share that with us, then it's really helpful to me. It's also helpful to everybody that gets to watch it, because then they get to see the feedback that I provide. So it becomes more than just about your practice, but about all of our collective growth and experience. So thanks so much. Take care.